Control is Lost to Us by Purple Painted Insomniac on EU3. Episode 7, Chapter 6. Hitoshi was silent on the drive back to the apartment, which normally wasn't worrying Izuku too much. Hitoshi had never really been one for idle chatter, and they needed to fill every silence. The things he said were often purposeful and thought out. He wasn't like Uraraka or Mina or even Kirishima or Kaminari, who always kept up a constant stream of chatter and small talk. It was why when he had transferred into their class, Izuku had gravitated towards the taller sullen boy. Despite Hitoshi's clear distaste for the idea of having friends, Izuku found himself craving companionship, quiet, and a peace that seemed to radiate in the spaces Hitoshi claimed as his own. He simply spent his ride home with his arms wrapped around Izuku's torso, his long body pressed to Izuku's form, as his shoulders in his head case and his helmet hooked over Izuku's shoulders so he could see ahead of them through his visor. Izuku knew he shouldn't have let Izuku go in on his own. But defying the commission wasn't something he could really just up and do. Sure, he was the number one hero, but he wasn't All Might. He had to build the decades of power and influence. Not even his actions in the war really garnered him much favor. Hitoshi, I know you have a lot of stuff running through your mind right now, but you can't bottle this up, okay? You don't have to talk it all through right now. Take your time to process it. But when you're ready, I'm here to listen to you and unload it without judgment. But don't let this weigh down on you too long, okay? Izuku said until their linked comms. He heard the soft sigh that Hitoshi let out as he nuzzled his chin a little lower onto Izuku's shoulder. I know, Zuku. You never let me stew for this too long. Right now I just want to go home and snuggle and finally watch that docu-series you were going to start before Cat called. Hitoshi said softly, his arms tightening a little around Izuku as he hummed happily. Okay, we could get home, curl up with Gnome and Suzumi, with all the snacks you want. No more dwelling on everything that happened since the raid. Just us, the girls, and a lot of cuddle time. Izuku said, taking one hand to pat Hitoshi's gloved one that was linked together above his diagram. Sounds good. Thank you for standing up to Katz. About the name and about being there with me. I know I had my dad's, but you always had a way of steadying me when everything's got to be, well, too much. Hitoshi rumbled, over the comms, followed by the longest yawn Izuku had ever heard. He snorted softly as he finally pulled into the parking complex of their apartment. They both climbed off the bike, Hitoshi pulling off his helmet and riding jacket before wrapping an arm around Izuku. You know, you said I have a way of steadying you, but I always found your silence, the way you never feel the need to fill the quiet, so calming. Whenever I felt overwhelmed by everything, by everyone, I always felt myself being pulled towards you. Izuku said softly, looking up into Hitoshi's face, that was now dusted with a pink of small smile curling up his lips. So, that's why you always plonk yourself down across me when whichever notebook and quirk science article you found and just scribble away, mouthing whatever thoughts you were pining in the moment of your old brain of yours. Hitoshi squeezed Izuku into his side before leaning down and pressing a kiss into Izuku's hair. I mean, sorta? Spending all day with the others could be a bit much. The quiet was nice, but I like spending time with you, and I wanted us to be friends, even if you had built up walls that even some Mentos would have been impressed by. Izuku chuckled as Hitoshi playfully shoved him. Oh, you're so funny, aren't you? Come on, I want to get into my PJs and shut out the rest of the world. Hitoshi grumbled, pulling a snickering Izuku along with him into their building. Izuku wrapped an arm around Hitoshi's waist and leaned into the older man's side. I'm hilarious, and you know it. Pajamas and shutting out the world sounds like bliss right now. How about we make a whole nest with the futon in the closet in front of the TV like we used to in the dorms? Izuku grinned up at Hitoshi, who smiled down at him fondly. That sounds amazing. And this time, I don't have to worry about feeling like an awkward idiot when I'm curled up with you. Hitoshi grinned back, causing Izuku to blush, and nod his head empathetically in agreement. The two walked, intertwined in one another, into the apartment, where their two cats happily greeted them around their ankles. Nani, Saucy, will you both quit it? You can have all the snuggles you want in 5 minutes. Hitoshi snorted at the plaintive meows that came from both of their cats. Uh-huh, that's what I thought. True drama queens, the pair of you. He nudged them to the side as they both kicked off their shoes. Meet you back out here with the futon in 5? Izuku asked as they stopped in the lounge, the two cats sinking off to the couch, glaring at the two of them with narrowed eyes. Mm-hmm. Do you want me to bring out that green hoodie you were stealing? Hitoshi grumbled, leaning down to place a kiss right on Izuku's nose. Izuku blenched before chuckling and gently shoving Hitoshi's face away from his own. Only if you've worn it recently. And it smells like you. Izuku grumbled, hiding pink-tinted chips behind his hand before turning away and walking to his room. Hitoshi snorted, walking into his room and stripping out of his riding gear, sighing in relief as he peeled off the restrictive leathers. He quickly pulled on a loose pair of cotton sleep pants, t-shirts, and a black hoodie with two yellow cats on the chest. He grabbed the extra green hoodie he had offered to Izuku that was slung over his chair. He'd worn it over the past 2 days and grinned knowingly, the curly-haired idiot he'd fell over heels for. He liked stealing his clothes because it smelled like him. He padded over to his room, in socked feet, and snorting when he saw Izuku on his hands and knees, arranging every damn spare pillow and blanket in the apartment atop of their 2 futons they had for whenever any of the former classmates ended up getting a little too drunk and needed to spend the night. As much as I enjoy seeing your ass up, Izu, how about we settle down and snuggle? Here's a hoodie you wanted. Hitoshi flopped down onto the futons beside Izuku, holding up the hoodie, causing him to be on the receiving end of a very pointed glare. Toshi, I wasn't done making it comfy yet. Did you have to go and flop down like a whale breaching the surface of the sea? Izuku huffed out before shimmying into the hoodie he was handed and burying his nose into the neckline and inhaling deeply. Rude. Also, Izuku, I do not smell that good. Stop over-exaggerating. Hitoshi huffed before falling back onto his back and snuggling down into the comfortable nest Izuku had made for them. Not over-exaggerating. You smell good. Now come here and cuddle me. Today has been hell, and I don't really want to think about anything else but us relaxing together. Izuku pouted, causing Hitoshi to roll his eyes as she shimmied over to allow Izuku to curl up into it. Once the two of them were bundled up together under the covers, Hitoshi smiled, reaching for the remote and pulling the Hero documentary series they had been walking about on TV. Izuku nuzzled his head against Hitoshi's shoulder whilst lying on his side, his nose barely brushing past against Hitoshi's jaw. You know, I'm gonna have to drop out of the hero scene for a while. Marinette announced my name and civilian name to the whole country. I'm gonna have to disappear for a while. Maybe a new hero name? What do you think? Hitoshi murmured softly as he ran one slender hand up through Izuku's curls while the other wrestled on his stomach. Yeah, that's probably gonna have to be a thing. If I was switching heroics tracks, maybe we could have been a duo. Izuku snorted softly, before settling even deeper into the blankets, sighing happily. I think, Dad, as much as he'd love you to choose to stick with All Might and go underground when we were kids, he's had a compet about it now. The lightning of yours draws way too much attention. Hitoshi could feel his eyes growing heavy, a combination of emotion and the sheer lack of sleep and the comfort and safety Izuku seemed to radiate, finally taking its toll. You're right, but of course, you don't have to change your name, so what if they know who you are? Everyone ended up knowing exactly who your dad was after everything that went down our first year. He's still an effective underground hero. Izuku stated, his eyes never leaving the screen. Hitoshi gave a sleepy hum before pulling Izuku in closer, leaning down to nuzzle his face into the side of Izuku's face. Yeah, well, Izu, I'm not my dad. I don't have the years of reputation for a formidable hero who no one can really recall what they look like to lean on when people suddenly know who exactly I am. Hitoshi snorted, placing a kiss on the top of Izuku's mouth. No, you aren't, but no one expects you to be either. Patosh, love, You missed my point. So what if people knew Siren and Hitoshi Shinsou are one and the same? You've done amazing things in the shadows, and you will continue to do so. It just means no more undercover work. Izuku hummed happily as he received another soft kiss after his words, this time pressed directly into his lips. I know you're right, like every other time you talk sense into me. I just never thought I'd have to deal with people looking at me and seeing Siren, even when I'm out of my costume. That's gonna be hard. Hitoshi swallowed thickly, finally turning his attention back to the screen. Wait, hold up a minute. Did you just admit I'm right and talked sense into you? Where's the camera? I need a recording of that to show Aizawa. He blames me for you rushing in without thinking like 90% of the time. Izuku snorted as he curled up into Hitoshi's side before giving a content little sigh. You know, even if you had an Impex proof I admitted to such a thing, he would never have believed it. It's just not logical for you to have influence my bullshit. Hitoshi huffed, a laugh leaning into his head to rest on Izuku's, that was pillowed against his shoulder. Soon, the two of them were doting, wrapping up into each other's arms, the TV lowly murmuring in the background. Okay, I was looking through some of my comments. One, I hit 5K, which is, wow. Just, wow. Do I do merch drops for that shit? If so, fuck. I'm not. Unless I hit like, okay, 10,000 would be like, no, I would have to then design shit over 10,000. Yeah, no. I'm just doing whatever the fuck I want drops. I'm working on the cute little stickers that are tag themes. Again, it is not going to be like the AU3 tag just on there and have it be a sticker. I'm telling you, it's going to be cute little, I guess icons is what you call them. Cute little icons. Like, for example, Inks is going to be like a cute little knife and it's going to say Angst on it, like it's like embedded on it or something, you know, stuff like that. You know, cute little stuff like that. I'm pretty sure crack is going to be a pill. It's either a pill or a bottle of pills. I'm not sure which one I'm doing for now. Fluff, I definitely want it to be like a pillow or something. Stuff like that. It's stuff that I'm still thinking about. But sorry, I'm my mind. Okay, as I was saying, fuck. Okay, but no, yeah, it's stuff that I'm thinking about and stuff that is thinking about. Okay, as I was saying, right, I got a comment. I saw my comments. First, the 5K, wow. Just wow. That's all I have to say. Just wow. And then second, I want to talk about the fact that in my comments, most people, a lot of people mentioned how there was no confession. So I'm guessing it was one of those things where like the confession was intertwined in the conversation, right? One of those situations where I tell you where one person is saying something, but they're really meaning something else, or they're saying something with the undertones of something else. It could be a situation like that. It's just, it didn't read that much. And normally when we do that, the characters don't react that way, but I don't know. Then again, we also have to think about it this way. These are two characters that are literally roommates. Oh my god. And they were roommates. Anyways, and so they probably know each other. So probably to Hitoshi, that was their confession kind of situation. I don't know. Whatever it is, they're together. I kind of like their cute little cuddling. Apologies for this video being short. I'm trying to get on track. I'm trying to get on stuff. I'm working. I'm like overworked. I'm not overworked. Don't cuss me out in my comments, please. I'm not overworked. It's just I'm trying to stay in clear with the 3 videos a day kind of situation. I'm trying to get my video scheduling ahead of time. I'm trying to get fanfiction club back on spot. I know I've been lacking on that aspect. I think the last time I posted an episode was like a month ago. I'm gonna record some videos, just me, myself, and I, and see how that works out. I'm going to also be working on a bunch of other shit, but mainly that. I'm trying to figure out, because Revamp series is no longer just going to be once a week kind of thing, and it's just once we finish the series, we post it. So once I finish the series, every chapter is going to be posted. So if there's 7 chapters, none of that, like, even if chapter 7 is 2 hours long, Chapter 7 is gonna be 2 hours long. Point blank. There's gonna be none of that, like, you know, situation like that, right? If the chapter is that long, the chapter is that long, point blank situation, right? So because of that, Wednesday's kind of open and there's nothing there and I don't know what else to fill it with other than rec corner. But if I put too many rec corners, I don't know, maybe you guys would be interested in a lot of rec corners, right? Rec corner with one-shots being Wednesday. Because I could do 3 rec corners or I could do 4 rec corners. I'll have to think about it because that means I have to read more fics. I have to read at least, 4 fics a week just so I don't get bombarded. I know I have like a list of like 300, 400 plus fics that I've read. Let me see, hold up. I'm opening up my habits app because I have goals and stuff that that I have set. Hold up, I did that one today. I'm checking. I recorded 1 video, this is 2 videos, I need 1 more video to go, at the very least. I have not written, technically speaking, I did spend a lot of time writing a fic today. Yes. There you go. And then, let me see. I need to draw something. I have a streak on that one. I kind of don't want to break that streak. I also have a streak on the recording one, because that's the only one that I'm going to probably forever have a streak on. I need to draw something. And then that's it for the streaked ones. Read fanfictions, yeah, 8 hours a day, which is roughly... hours a day, that is roughly... 8 hours a day. Give me a second, I'm trying to figure out roughly how much that would be. 8 hours a day, am I reading... I read pretty fast, if I do say so myself. Oh, I have an inbox. I have to check. Is that a comment from me or... Oh, here. That is what? 5,000? Roughly. Estimates. We love my estimates. Right, that is... Okay, so 15 minutes. 15 minutes per 5K. So 15 minutes, so 8 hours, which would be 8 times 60, divided by 15 equals 32, times 5,000 is 160? Really? Okay, I think what I meant was to be at least 150 a week, right? Which roughly, I've seen a trend where I like to 150 a week. I think that's equivalent enough for at least like what, 2 big fics or 4 mini fics, as I would like to call them. And that is weekly. And that is just the base minimum. I want to slowly rose that. I want to have that be where 10 hours of my week is spent reading fics. Yeah, I think I can make that work. Rec Corner. I'll have to check. Again, it's a lot of checking. It's a lot of doing. Rec Corner is going to be definitely a lot of me sitting down and recording with you guys like this. You guys are going to see me. I'm no longer going to like be trying so hard on those to look good or stuff. You guys are going to see me with my hair up wild, my glasses that are broken. Like, y'all, I'm not going to try on that because it's just rec. And it's just me recommending a fic with the recability count. Which, because I don't recommend a fic that much, does not mean the fic is bad. I have one fic that I absolutely fucking love, but I would never recommend it to someone. Or not that I would never recommend it to someone, but my recability for it is like 4 out of 10. Mainly because the shit hurts like a son of a bitch. Like, I don't think you understand how much that fic fucking hurt. And because it made me sob it's like, it's really good, but tread lightly. Tread lightly. I will always explain why I would not rec a fic. Like, for example, I would not recommend someone watch Banana Fish. But that does not mean the Banana Fish is not good. Banana Fish is amazing. I just do not wish that type of pain on anyone. You know, so it's like, hey, yeah, this is a really good fic, and I would, I guess, recommend it, but like, tread lightly. Tread lightly. Warning. It is really good, but is it worth it? Is it worth the tears? The way you used to do by Emira. Really love the fic. That shit fucked me up. And I don't think you understand, like, fuck me up not because, like, somebody died, there's no major character death, but it's just, it's an emotional roller coaster, so, yeah. If I do not recommend a fic at all because I think it's bad, I'm not even gonna mention it in rec corners. Right? Like, if I think a fic is bad, I think a fic is bad. Point blank, I move on. Except a certain writer. There's a certain writer who, as much as I fucking hate their writing style, I don't think you understand, I absolutely loathe their writing style. I'm not gonna mention if it's from this fandom or what fandom, but they're just from a fandom, and they write a specific ship. That's all they write. There is literally no other type of ship that they write. They only write this one ship from this one fandom. And because that one ship does not get many fucking fics, and I'm slowly running out of fics, I could no longer just see their author name and be like, oh, I don't want to read it because it's by blank author. It's gotten to the point where, well, you see, there are 80 more fics that I could read. A lot of those are one-shots, so let's be honest. Yeah, around 50. They don't have that many one-shots. I have like around 50 fics I could read. And only 20 left that are not by said author. So like 50 fics plus 20, I have 70 fics left. Of an already very low minimum of this one ship that I fucking love. And I don't know why I fell in love with it, because I'm going through hell when it comes to finding fanfictions for them. I have to lower my standards so bad. Where it's to the point where it's like, you know what? Are they really that bad? It's not even that the writing is bad. I think their premises are really good. And they have a really solid premise when it comes to story premises, right? The plot is immaculate. Their pacing could do some work. I'm gonna be honest with you, their pacing isn't the best. It's their dialogue that fucks me up. It is their dialogue that fucks me up. Like, fuck! I hate their dialogue. It is just, I don't think you understand. It's like trauma dumping upon trauma dumping. It's like they're speaking, but it's like I could clearly tell that this is not meant for the other person. It's like two people talking, like two detectives who know, this is an example, not like this is actually something that happened. Two detectives are talking. They both are in the same case, and it's said so that they've been on the same case, and one says, so about the case. Oh yeah, the case. Yes, the case about the 8 missing children and the 30 blah blah blah. The one where blah 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 blah, and they go into detail, not just like, oh yeah, the missing children's case, which would be what detectives would be like, hey, the missing children's case. And if there's two, the other person would probably respond with which one, and the other would say, oh yeah, the 8 missing children. Or I guess they would say, oh, the missing children's case in Blank Street, or the missing kid in what's it called, in Blink City kind of situation, you know, like little clarifications, but not go outright and explaining the whole fucking case to the other detective, for the other detective then to say, oh yes, been working on that one too, you know, blank 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 blank. And it's like, okay, they are talking, but it's clearly that their dialogue is not meant as two people talking to each other, and it's more of two characters informing the reader of what's going on, and it is infuriating. It is infuriating. It is infuriating. It is infuriating. Point blank. Okay? But I'm getting desperate. And sometimes you get desperate. There's many fandoms where I've gotten desperate. I remember Echo and Jinx, before they became like really big shipped, right? Back in season 1, like, don't get me wrong, season 1 they were really big and shipped, but I'm not saying that there was a lot of content out there to be enjoying. I had to pick up the crumbs, my dude. I had to pick up the crumbs. There's a lot of ships out there where you have to pick up the crumbs, right? There's a lot of ships out there. I know Shindeku used to be a ship. back in the day. I kind of shipped them back in the day, where I had to really pick up the crumbs. BKDK was a ship that I absolutely loved since season 2, 3, around there, and specifically season 3. Season 3 is where it sold me. Season 2, I was more into Baku Deku, but then season 3 came out, and I saw season 3, or not season 3 came out, but I saw season 3, and I was like, wait, hold up, BKDK. But because it wasn't as widely accepted, I kind of did not consume as much media of it, and when I did, it wasn't the best, and it was like, ugh. Now, it is the most favorited ship. Todo Deku used to be the best, used to be, like, the most loved. It is now the underdog. It is thrown under the dog. Same with Kiribaku. I, surprisingly, actually do not ship Kiribaku as much as I used to. I used to be a huge shipper for Kiribaku. I don't ship it anymore. Yeah, I don't ship it anymore. It's not... I don't find it shippable. No, I really don't. It's... I don't know, it's weird. I don't ship it. Point blank. Like, I just don't ship it. Like, what do you want me to do? Like, I don't ship it, bitch. I am going on a rampage. I'm gonna end this. Okay. As always, my raindrops, make sure to eat, sleep, drink water, take your meds. Have a wonderful day or night. Link to my Discord server and socials are down in the description. Subscribe to see more of my content, and thank you so much for watching.